Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 15th, 2021, and I want to talk about a few different topics this morning. I think a video was the best format considering the relatively small amount of interaction that I'm getting on CEO, even on the public channels. Seems like it's dead out there. I mean, people just have no interest. I posted this question, which I think is actually very interesting. If you scroll up, I actually posted the FCX chart. I made some comments on it. But any thoughts on copper or FCX here? Now, why would I ask that? Well, Freeport McMoRan is a big copper producer, very liquid stock in the S&P 500, and it's forming this sort of pennant triangle consolidation for the last few months. And, it's in this 5,200 squeeze where you have a shorter term downtrend, so you have a declining 50-day, you have a longer term uptrend, so you have a rising 200-day, and it's just sort of in the middle. Today, it's up 4% so far, so it's looking to resolve higher, but it's not convincing yet. I think we probably need a daily close above this bar here, call it 37.50 or maybe even 38, and then we can get out the champagne and pop the champagne bottles. But it's interesting how much worry and fear there is out there, and the lack of willingness for anybody. And I'm not just saying on the trading lab, just in general, to make any forecasts or make any even analysis of anything. People are afraid to be wrong. People are really afraid to be wrong right now. And my job is to do my best at analyzing things. And when I see something that is potentially valuable, to point it out, right? And to not be as fearful of being wrong, because I know I'm going to be wrong quite often. And I also know that I'm right a lot too. But this Freeport chart and the resolution of it, I believe, is really, really important right now. And so when I was looking this morning at S&P's trading lower off the open, I'm looking at oil stocks up 5%. I'm looking at Freeport up 3 or 4%. I'm saying, something's wrong here. One of these prices is wrong. So I bought S&Ps and we're now back in the green. But I think it's important to note that if we just look at the SPY daily chart and look at where we're at and look at the fact that we're down 6 of the last 7 sessions, and we're coming right in to test this 50-day moving average that's held as support so many times on an options expiration week. I mean, Friday is a big OPEX week. It's actually the quarterly OPEX. So the futures, options on futures, options, the weekly, monthly, all of it expires on this Friday. So there'd be a lot of trading volumes on Thursday and then a lot more on Friday. Generally, that lends bullish tailwinds. Generally, that is a supportive factor for markets to have that options expiration. Now, if the week were to end with a big sell-off, that would be extremely notable. And that would be out of character, especially considering that we're down 6 of 7 days, heading into this Wednesday, and where we're at on the chart. You kind of got to give the odds, the probabilities to the bulls finding some support here soon. Okay, so I wanted to comment on that. I do want to comment on PUMA. This is a company that I pointed out probably 3 months ago, and I bought some stock. I followed it a little bit. I've talked about it a bit in the trading lab, but you kind of had to do your own research. I didn't spoon feed you on this one, that's for sure. But I think it's worth looking at the chart. You can see it really started to take off in mid-June. Mid-June, they put out this news that they discovered visible gold in quartz veins at surface at the Lynx project on the Williamsburg property in New Brunswick, Canada. And then you can follow the news flow ever since mid-June. It's been nothing but finding more gold, raising money, planning to drill, drilling, and then culminating in this morning's news, which obviously put out a very good intercept, 5.55 grams per ton over 50 meters from surface at the link zone. And they hit gold in a bunch more holes, 12 more holes with assays pending. So this is looking like a new discovery. Like, this is looking like a project that's going to need to be drilled a lot more to see just how big this is. The gold grades and the fact they're near surface warrants a lot more exploration work, right? So this is something that's very interesting. And from a market standpoint, it's at a 50 million market cap. So the market is giving them credit for something. But obviously, if this proves to be a lot bigger than the relatively small area that they've reported the drill results from so far, then it could be a lot more than a 50 million market cap. But I think that taking some profits, if you bought at 30 cents on a double, not a terrible idea. That's where I bought it, at 30 cents or 29 cents. But I also think I want to point out there is potential for this to go above $1 for sure if subsequent results prove that this zone is much bigger. Right now, this is a relatively small area that has been drilled, and they're hitting gold all over the place. But this in itself is not really going to make a mine, especially not a big mine. So they need to drill along this favorable contact. They need to step out. And they're talking about, 700 meters. Now, obviously, if this zone is so high grade and near surface and continuous for 700 meters, then you probably got a mine. But they need to drill it, and we need to see the assays that are still pending from the 12 additional holes. It's also pretty clear, just to be blatantly honest, that the insider buying over the summer, clearly they were buying because they were optimistic of what was going to come. And other people were also buying while every gold stock and their brother was dropping like a rock in August. PUMA was rising. And that's really notable. So if you don't know anything about gold exploration or gold mining, simply put, if you look at a sector that's trading like this, and you have a stock that's in that sector trading like this, then some good things are happening with this company. It's not rocket science, and you really don't need to make investing a whole lot more complicated than that. Quite frankly, I wish I had bought more PUMA, but obviously hindsight is 2020. Now, they've put out the good news. The stock is a double. It's at a 50 million market cap, so it's not quite as easy as it was at 30 cents, right? I want to finish with Palantir. So why do I like this? Oh, it's trading higher. I like this hourly bar. Why do I like Palantir here? Well, if we zoom in, it's basically gone nowhere for weeks. And then we start to zoom out. Still, it's consolidating for the last couple of weeks, really gone nowhere. Ping pong, and it keeps running into the same level of resistance, around 2650, 2660, 2670, right up near where we're about to hit again. It's tested it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I'm going to bet the 6th time or the 7th time is a charm. And then when I zoom it out and I move it to, let's say, a daily chart, here, let's make it look a little prettier. This is a big head and shoulders bottom, guys. So in the shorter time frames, I like the way it's building up energy. It's getting bought on dips, and it keeps testing the same level over and over again. It's about to test that level for the 6th or 7th time in the last month. And then if we look at bigger picture since like February, March, if this thing breaks over 2750, it's got an open gap at 32. And it's OPEX week. So the 27 and 2750 calls, weekly calls, could be subject to a gamma squeeze. Lots of fuckery could happen here. And it's got a decently high short interest. Not huge, not GameStop short interest, but it's got short interest. This is a nice technical setup. Okay. And I like my entry. I like the way it's trading now. This is set up for a nice squeeze. Maybe we get it to 27.50 or 28 by Friday close. Maybe it goes ballistic and gets over 30 because the Redditors get a hold of it on Friday. I don't know, but I like the risk relative to the potential upside. Have a great Wednesday. I'll see you in the trading lab.